Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Katie and today I'm going to do some more painting. Now, after really enjoying, I believe, the YOU UpCrate watercolors, which are made by Lukas, I was wanting to give these a little bit more of a try, and it turned out they were quite hard to get hold of. I tried the usual suspects such as Amazon and Jackson's, and neither really showed any results I was willing to pay for, or they just didn't have them at all. My friend from Romy's Art Journaling channel, be sure to check her out, I will leave a link down below. She reached out to me and pointed me in a direction where I could purchase them. However, the shipping fees were quite extortionate to get them into the UK, so it didn't work. However, to any of you fabulous European watchers out there, she did point out a good art website, and I'll also leave that in the link down below. So I guess I was running out of options, and I thought I would reach out to UpCrate to see if they could provide me with any they might have left in stock. Well, it turns out they're quite popular and they'd completely sold out of all of them. I assume they've probably got some reserved for any boxes that people might want to buy, like, you know, the past boxes. However, they hadn't got any lying around in their store cupboard. But saying that, UpCrate, I love your customer service. You guys are brilliant. You pointed me into a UK art shop retailer, and that is lawrenceart.co.uk, something like that, but I will leave a link for that in the comments or in my description. I was able to get hold of some, and yes, I'm so happy. Just a little forward here, the Rembrandt Spark Violet, I've been wanting to put that in a video somewhere, and I just thought I'd put it in here. I don't use it in any of the paintings, but that thing needed to be swatched. It had been unopened for months and I just can't have that. But yes, back to it. Thank you so much, UpCrate, for just all your lovely advice, because I do contact you about things and you always have an answer for me, and I massively appreciate that, so thank you. So, the colours that I received in the UpCrate back in May, I believe, were Permanent Lemon Yellow, Sap Green and Paris Blue. The colours I chose, and which you've just seen swatched, are the Cadmium Orange, Magenta, Dioxazine Violet, I never know how to say that properly, and Purple. I figured I could mix my own red using a yellow and magenta, or using a bit of orange, so I didn't feel the need to buy a full-on red. However, I do quite like purpley colours, which is why two purpley violet-y colours are on there. I must admit the purple itself was a little bit lacklustre, but it does sit nicely between the magenta and the violet that I can never pronounce. I have a feeling though that the purple might be multi-pigmented just looking at the swatches, but hey, I've got them forever now to play with, so I'm just really happy I've got some. So for this first picture, I do just use the colours that I've got, including the ones I had in UpCrate, and that includes mixing as close to black as I could. Now, I don't know if it was the paper misbehaving, or maybe my own stupidity on painting on the back of the watercolour paper. I am using the Jackson's paper at the moment, and it's in my handmade sketch pad, so one side's going to be good and one side's not. And I've been really good and painted on all of the pages, so some are going to be fine and some not so. However, I did find the first initial washes perhaps just to be a little bit flat, not as textured as I wanted, so I do end up building up on that. However, I did manage to mix a relatively decent black, and with a couple of layers of it, I managed to get in some of those details there. I thought I should mention as well, the brushes that I've used are the ones that came in the Artful watercolour box as well. I do really enjoy these brushes, and I have a Beyond the Box for Artful coming up very soon, so make sure you are subscribed, notifications on, so you don't miss out on that. Slightly later than usual self-promotion there. Anyway, let's resume. So once I'd got that initial colour down, it was time to start really building up on those layers and applying it a little bit more densely. Again, whether it's just down to the wrong side of the paper, it just wasn't quite doing it for me, so I upped my game a bit and added a little bit more pigmentation into it. I do also think it is the paper, because what I swatched it on was a lot more vibrant than what I'm painting on. But anyway, I'm going to stop talking about that. Using that blended grey-black colour I managed to achieve, it was time to start adding some tonal detail onto our little blue tit friend here. And I thought it was very nice and subtle enough to just add in a few of them stray feathers. I also included some of the violet in there, as it was the darkest of the three that I bought, and again I like that it complements the yellow quite nicely. The orange added a nice little bit of warmth and just additional texture to it. However, I did have to do something about that background. It was just too wishy-washy, and the reference picture I was working from, it just wasn't quite matching up how I envisaged it to, so I went back in there, did a bit of wet and wet, and then ended up just going over the whole thing again because it just wasn't really drying a deep enough colour for me. In hindsight though, I don't dislike this picture. I kind of appreciate the flatness of it actually, and maybe using the wrong side of the paper adds something to it. I always think if something doesn't always go to plan, you can always learn something from it and take that away to your next painting. So don't be disheartened if things don't always turn out how you want them to, and I'll say this many times with anything art based, try and see if you can take something away from it. Anyway, for the next painting, because yes, I am treating you to two today, I opted to just use those purpley colours that I picked up. And I thought a big old owl would be the perfect subject for it as well. I also approached this with a bit more of a looser brush technique, and that is something I'm wanting to personally develop on at the moment. There's something just quite mesmerising about watching the paint merge and travel across the paper. And although smooth hot press watercolour paper is my favourite because I can draw on it as well quite smoothly, I do think it is time to start exploring textured papers a little bit more and seeing how much I can utilise them, especially with granulating colours as well, because I do like a bit of granulation and a nice textured paper really brings that out. After allowing that first few layers of loosely painted colour on there to dry, it was time to just start adding a few more details in using the deeper tones and colours. You'll see that I swapped and changed brushes as well. I used quite a flat moppy one as well as a round brush to add the larger areas, and then for the finer details it seems only right to use a finer brush. I noticed a huge improvement as well on how the colour behaved on this particular sheet of the paper, so maybe I had it the right way up. To be honest with you, I kind of lose track a little bit when I'm making my own sketch pads. I kind of just fold the paper and forget which way I've folded them. Never mind, they're only for me. I really enjoyed working in this looser style, and I kind of enjoyed sort of throwing that paint down and then just focusing on certain areas where there'd be detail. Let me know in the comments down below, do you think I should pursue this a little bit more? I'd just be interested. It's something I want to do as a personal development thing, but if you want me to share that with you, I am more than happy to do that and let you know the thought processes and what's gone right and what hasn't. Now I'm just going to give you a quick little update while I'm here. I've nearly sorted my art studio space out. I've got furniture built. It's just time to empty all the boxes onto it and make some decisions on, do I still need certain things or not? And once that's completed, I will be able to add a bit more variety of materials. It's just at the moment, watercolours are a nice convenient choice for me, so we're just going to have to work with those for a little while. Oh, and any subscription boxes, of course. With that being said though, we are done with the two paintings, and like I say, let me know in the comments what you think of me trying out a looser style. I just want to say a massive thank you to Romy's Art Journal. Please go and visit her channel, and a huge thank you to UpCrate as well for pointing me in the right direction. I massively appreciate it, thank you. I've got to try some more colours. I also want to thank you guys as well for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Now I have a feeling some art subscription boxes are on the way, so I will see you then. In the meantime, thank you again for watching, and bye!